Alright, so this new Prickly Cactus hero got me thinking about testing some melee builds. Since I'm normally not a big fan of melee, it's pretty hard to beat the efficiency of Stoneheart Pharah, and the 160s are not very survival friendly to melee builds. But I decided to give melee a try, and first off, the new hero is garbage. It's not worth having her in your loadout. But I did find a pretty fun melee loadout that's worth messing around with. And so, first disclaimer, it doesn't do as much damage as your typical whiteout Fiona build with Totally Rockin' Out. But the thing I hate about this build is how fragile you are, right? You do a ton of damage, but you're as flimsy as a piece of paper, right? A stiff breeze kills you. So here's the loadout that I was using. It still does a good amount of damage, but you're not this flimsy glass cannon. So we have Swamp Knight in the lead, and that's to have his commander perk where you take damage and conjure a phantasm, or chance to conjure a phantasm. Trick and Treat team perk, and that's to have a 50% chance to conjure an additional phantasm, and your phantasms have life leech. And then, since we're using Trick and Treat, we need to have 2 Fortnite heroes. So the 2 that we have are Mermonster Ken, right, and increases your melee damage based on your missing health. And we use him instead of Willow here because I've been told that Willow does not increase the damage of your phantasms. So she just doesn't really do anything for this loadout at least. And then we have Arlene Iza to give our melee life leech. Whiteout Fiona to increase our crit rating with swords because we still will be using the Stormblade with the Explosion 6 perk. Intergalactic Ken, and he gives you shields whenever you eliminate somebody with energy damage, and our phantasms are energy and also our Stormblade is energy, so this will be a good way to help us survive. And then Breakbeat Wildcat, because we still want the Rock and Riff buff that increases our melee attack speed. Even though we're not using Totally Rockin' Out, it's still okay, we still want that increased attack speed. And then gadgets are just Slow Field and Adrenaline Rush. Alright, and then the weapon that we'll be using is this. So it's a Bright Core Stormblade with these perks. Attack Speed, Armor, and I'm sacrificing the damage perk here for Armor just to increase our survivability. Energy, Attack Speed, and damage to miss monsters and bosses. And then, of course, the 6th perk of critical hits cause an explosion. Alright, and then I'll also be using a Storm King's Ravager just to zip around if I need to. Alright, so let's load up a 160 and show what this loadout can do. Alright, so I'm in a 160 mission here, this Ride the Lightning. And something to note, the husks have life leech. Not that it really matters too much, but just something to notice. And I'm in here solo without any buffs from any teammates. And I'm going to test this on an encampment, because the husks that spawn from encampments in the 160s are power level 250, instead of the default 160 that they start with on the map. Alright, so let's test this out. Gather them up. Jeez, the smoke screen makes it hard to see, but yeah. Alright, so let's try this one without Warcry. Not bad. Single target damage is still not great. Neither is it on Whiteout Fiona. but it's not terrible. Alright, so that's the loadout. I'll probably try to tweak it a bit just to get more damage out of it. Like maybe I'll take that armor perk off of the weapon and switch it to damage. I don't know. Either way, it's a fun start. You know, on the lower power level missions, you can just AFK with this build in the middle of a husk spawn because of Swamp Knight's commander perk. Alright, yeah, so if you have any suggestions, just let me know in the comments and I'll try them out. Alright, so yeah, if you guys like this content and want to support the channel, please use code Diggy in the item shop. I'd really appreciate it. And thank you to everyone who has used it. Alright, as always, I'll leave a link to my Discord in the description and yeah, pin it in the top comment if I remember. Alright, I will catch you guys later. Peace.